So the Superstar Shakeup starts today on 8 o'clock on Monday, and I'm just predict there's this video is going to be here for my predictions of what superstars are going to be at Raw and what superstars are going to SmackDown. And let's just start off the bat with the superstar that I feel like that's gonna need to really go to SmackDown is Braun Strowman. Um, this dude needs to go to actually SmackDown. This Braun Strowman has been booked very, very badly on Raw, and he had faced it everyone in Raw. So pretty much his mystique, his luster, his pretty much performance and everything in Raw is pretty stale, and pretty much it's not like a boring Braun Strowman. It's just like Braun Strowman. He doesn't even seem like a monster like he did when he was first introduced when the draft started. He didn't really feel important at all at this point. So moving to SmackDown give him his character a new branch of life, and especially what we saw last week, how him and Samoa Joe clash. I think that would be a perfect way because it feels like Braun Strowman was brand new in SmackDown. It feels a pretty much a great restart for his character, and because honestly, Braun Strowman has been falling. Like honestly, if he stayed in Raw, I think this would have been a big mistake. So I think he will be the first person to go from Raw to SmackDown. That's my prediction. I think he's going to go to SmackDown. The next person I feel like from SmackDown to Raw is going to be the Usos. It doesn't make sense how the Usos dropped the tag titles to the Hardys. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Hardy Boys, and it just still pissed me off to the point that we didn't get Hardys versus Usos at WrestleMania, because this kind of match is a WrestleMania match or a pay-per-view match, and it'll be better to have a stipulation as well. And the match on SmackDown was okay last week, but I feel like the reason why the Usos lost the tag titles because they're going to Raw, and like that's the only sense that I can predict why they lost the titles. And on top of that, they've been in SmackDown for a while, and they've been the hottest act, the hottest tag team act on SmackDown. And I kind of want them to stay in SmackDown, but since Raw division does not have a tag team, they're most likely going to get Usos to pretty much create a giant buzz. Another one from SmackDown that I hope goes to Raw and have TV time is Sanity. Sanity has been buried and not been used. So I feel like the fact that Raw is 3 hours, I think Sanity is going to go to Raw, and we're actually going to see Sanity being used. Hopefully not buried, or hopefully not like destroyed, but hopefully we'll get kind of like Sanity into Raw, and hopefully they'll be able to flourish. My next prediction will have from Raw to SmackDown will going to have to be the Riot Squad. I feel like the Riot Squad has, screw it. No, not Riot Squad. Ruby Riot. Ruby Riot needs to get out of the Riot Squad, and she needs to go to SmackDown. Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, they just need to be stuck as a tag team. I just want Ruby Riott to go to SmackDown and just by herself so she can compete as a single competitor, because out of those three, she is the most talented female wrestler out there. And I feel like I feel like the Riot Squad is holding her talents back. And I feel like with this superstar shakeup, hopefully it will break the Riot Squad up and they will just have Ruby Riott to SmackDown. A SmackDown star that I feel like that's going to go to Raw it will have to be Naomi. Um, like I said, same thing. Naomi has done everything that she has done for SmackDown. I also feel like she's been there since forever, so she needs a move to a new atmosphere. She probably might not be used pretty well, especially with all these new female talents and pretty much how WWE is booking her. They pretty much are booking her just like as a kind of like a mid card person. So I pretty much will probably pretty much Naomi is going to go to Raw, especially since her husband is part of the Usos. So pretty much if he's going to Raw, most likely she's going to go to Raw. I don't see them separating them at all. So yeah, so pretty much I feel like that's going to be it. Another one, a Raw character will be good. I'll go to SmackDown is Drew McIntyre. I feel like Drew McIntyre is going to go to SmackDown and he really needs it, especially if Roman Reigns is still going to be in Raw. Drew McIntyre is not going to be a great heel. I feel like Drew McIntyre is going to, if he stays in Raw, I feel like he's going to be a good heel, but honestly, if Roman's there, it's going to demolish his mystique, his luster, his mystere. And honestly, if he goes to SmackDown, he'll be a bigger heel, a larger than life character. And especially since Kofi Kingston is WWE champion, I feel like I can see him in Kofi Kingston's championship, and Drew is a very entertaining and a badass character, and I feel like with all these changes, SmackDown needs a great heel. Another person that I feel like that's going to go from SmackDown to Raw will going to be AJ Styles. I feel like AJ is going to go to Raw because he done everything from SmackDown. Yes, he has the moniker, the slogan that SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built, but AJ Styles did everything as possible, and now it's time for some new talents. Now it's time for some new matchups. So I really do feel like AJ Styles is literally going to leave. And go to Raw. And pretty much because there's going to be a lot of great competitions from Raw and matches that we haven't seen, like Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles, Finn Balor versus AJ Styles again, but we have another match with them again. Roman Reigns and AJ Styles, that'll be another great match. So I feel like his time is up for SmackDown, and he's gonna go to Raw for a little while. A tag team that I feel like from Raw is gonna go to SmackDown is the Revival. I feel like the Revival is gonna go to SmackDown, and honestly, I feel like the Revival needs to go to SmackDown. Just because how WWE is treating them, and hopefully SmackDown treats them much better, but it's from the same company, so pretty much WWE won't book them correctly, but pretty much I hope they book them correctly better than Raw. So I think that's going to be one. Another one that I feel like that's going to I feel like they're going to push Charlotte Flair back into Raw, and they probably going to switch Bayley to SmackDown. I feel like because it's time, because I feel like they want the Queen, especially since the storyline of WrestleMania. They feel like you could just tell by the storyline and everything from the main focus was Charlotte and Ronda Rousey and Becky, and I feel like they're going to put Charlotte back on Raw because she's the top talent, and they want Raw to have the top talent competitors. Another female that I see going to Raw is going to have to be, I feel like they're going to put Carmella there just because she's very popular and have more comedic style. So I feel like, no, not Carmella. I feel like they're going to put Fire and Desire Mandy Rose and Liv Morgan into. I feel like they're going to keep Carmella and SmackDown, but I feel like they're going to move Fire and Desire and to Raw, just because they have just because Vince McMahon loves his blondes, and pretty much they've been racking up wins, and I feel like pretty much they're kind of will be more beneficial in Raw and SmackDown. I mean, in Raw instead of in SmackDown. And I feel like Alexa Bliss is going to go back to SmackDown and pretty much strive and do better in the SmackDown roster as well. Um, and I also feel like Amber Moon is going to go to SmackDown. That's kind of one of my picks. I feel like for the women's roster, she's going to go back. She's going to go to SmackDown because it doesn't make any sense that she didn't come into Raw. She didn't come back to Raw in live action last week when she participated in the Women's Battle Royal. So I do feel like she is going to go to SmackDown. I feel like they're going to make her go into SmackDown just because I feel like they didn't use her last week. So I feel like pretty much she's going to be used on SmackDown. We're going to see Amber Moon on SmackDown instead of Raw. And so far, these are my picks. I don't know what else superstars that are going to be switching brands. So pretty much, hopefully, we'll get to see tonight and tomorrow, and hopefully, it will be an exciting, Raw and SmackDown. All right, hopefully.